President Joe Biden was recently at the National Prayer Breakfast. Now, the National Prayer Breakfast, of course, is a right-wing anti-LGBT gathering run by a secretive religious group known as the Family. The whole question of why he's even there in the first place is already bad enough, okay? Yet, the Family also shown to have had ties to Donald Trump and people that were trying to undermine the 2020 election, and has been criticized greatly by secular and left-wing groups. Nevertheless, Biden decided to show up anyway, despite that pressure from progressives and the base, and decided while he was there, he was going to gush about his good friend, Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell, Mitch, I don't want to hurt your reputation, but we really are friends. And that is not an epiphany we're having here at the moment. You've always done exactly what you've said. You're a man of your word, and you're a man of honor. Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you for being my friend. No. How about no? Okay, Mitch McConnell, not a friend. Not a friend. And definitely not a man of his word. By the way, to just kind of remind you what word McConnell normally honors. That's one of McConnell's promises. 100% focused on stopping Biden's administration. I'm going to stop everything. Interesting. Again, he had also had a goal during the Obama administration to make Obama one-term president. He failed on that, of course, but he did try. And look, I guess to be fair, he was a man of his word when it came to filling the Senate seat, a Supreme Court seat, with his own nominee, with a Republican nominee from the Heritage Foundation. After Antonin Scalia died during the end of Obama's administration, you had Obama that had a pick of Merrick Garland to the Supreme Court. So now McConnell didn't like that. Here's what he said. He said, Democrats would rather the Senate simply push through yet another lifetime appointment by a president on his way out the door. Given that we're in the midst of a presidential election process, we believe that the American people should seize the opportunity to weigh in on whom they trust to nominate the next person for a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. It is today the American people, rather than a lame duck president whose priorities and policies they just rejected in the most recent national election, who should be afforded the opportunity to replace Justice Scalia. And so, what did he do? He blocked Merrick Garland for about, 7-8 months? Almost a year. And then, of course, Trump wins. And then on January 31st, 2017, a day before Trump made his pick, Neil Gorsuch, to Scalia's seat, McConnell then said, oh, the Supreme Court seat doesn't belong to any president or any political party. Interesting. Very interesting. And on May 28th, 2019, McConnell is asked what he would do if a Supreme Court seat came open in 2020. You know, right before the election. Because he had made a big deal last time about nominating and filling a Supreme Court seat before an election. Here's what he said. Oh, we'd fill it. Oh, would you? Would you now? How about this statement from February 11th, 2020 on the Hugh Hewitt Show? He said, my motto for the year is leave no vacancy behind. And on September 18th, 2020, with the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, McConnell then said, quote, President Trump's nominee will receive a vote on the floor of the United States Senate. And that's how we got Amy Coney Barrett. Now, Amy Coney Barrett, what he did to push her into the open Supreme Court seat right before an election is he actually destroyed the judicial filibuster. And so, oh, would you look at that? We ended this filibuster so that I could push through a nominee because I think that we're going to lose the election. All right? And so now, again, he was right that they did lose the election. But here's the thing. McConnell right now is fighting to preserve the legislative filibuster. You know, the thing that he claimed that Biden was so profoundly unpresidential for even considering or talking about the possibility of filibuster reform. Now, of course, Joe Biden didn't actually really push all that hard. There's some mild rumble, like mild talking about, oh, you know, we could maybe do something a little bit about the filibuster to try to get voting rights. But he didn't really push real hard on that. And so, of course, filibuster stays in place because, of course, it does. But yes, please tell me about how Mitch McConnell was such a man of his word. I mean, and how he's such a great friend. What a great friend you are, Mitch McConnell. Yes, my friend Mitch, who hates everything that I'm trying to do and promised to block my entire agenda, and then does so, of course, because he, I guess, does keep to his word, without a hint of humility, of his entire hypocrisy. Look, there's only one reason that you would call someone like that your friend. And that's when you don't want to actually do anything. That's the only explanation to me that makes sense, you see. I think Joe Biden is being honest. He does like Mitch McConnell. He's a good friend. What a swell guy, great friend, man of his word. And it's because it makes it so that he's got somebody to blame when Biden can't get anything done. And you know what? Biden's happy with that because it's stuff that he didn't want to do in the first place. Build Back Better, I don't really care about that. No. Handing out billions of dollars in infrastructure spending to private corporations, Mitch and I both agree. We love that. Oh, that's good shit. Can I say, my donors, they say, yummy in my tummy. Give me that delicious bipartisan infrastructure bill, which again, has privatization baked into it and hands over billions of dollars of public money to private corporations. Now, I'm not saying it's all bad, but I am saying that that's the effect of the bill, is that it was a gigantic handout. Why do you think it was bipartisan in the first place? But when it comes to social spending, childcare, paid leave, gross. We don't want that. I know Mitch McConnell, he's going to block that. And then, you know, if that doesn't happen, somehow we can do reconciliation. Well, you know, we got Joe Manchin, we got Kirsten Sinema, who we know are absolute corrupt lapdogs of the fossil fuel industry, of the pharmaceutical industry. You know how I know that? Because we've got the same donors. So we know they're going to block it no matter what. No matter what. So, yeah, remember, folks, nothing will fundamentally change. That's what he told the donors. And by the way, remember Biden's promise on student loans, $10,000? Can't even get that. Just kidding. No forgiveness whatsoever. And by the way, Joe Biden is also literally trying to overturn a victory for a disabled student loan borrower in his own state of Delaware who had his loans. A judge had discharged his loans over $100,000 due to through bankruptcy due to massive financial hardship. Do you know how difficult it is to get your loans discharged through bankruptcy? Incredibly difficult. You know who made it difficult? Joe Biden. Joe Biden made it difficult. And now you have Cardona and the Justice Department that are actually literally working together to try to overturn one of the very few victories in getting this poor man's student loans discharged. He's on their side. Very obvious. And by the way, again, there's more video here. There's more video from the prayer breakfast. And this, by the way, this is of Joe Biden talking about and reminiscing about, you know, how I remember getting along with the segregationists, you know, and I just miss those times.
One of the things I don't know for sure, but I think is missing in the Congress, we don't spend as much time with one another as we used to. We used to eat lunch together. And I would go to lunch there literally every day and listen to the senior members. And you learn about their losses, their happiness. You learn about them. When you know one another, when you know, and no matter how badly you disagree, and people think, Rev, that in the days that's divided here, we had a lot of flat-out old segregationists still in our caucus. But Teddy Kennedy would argue like hell with Jim Eastland, and then they'd go down and have lunch. Didn't agree with one another, but they treated each other with respect even in that day.
I have no respect for segregationists. I will not have lunch with segregationists. I will not have lunch with them on a boat or on a goat. I don't care. I don't want to get along with segregationists. You know why? And you know why they all got along, why they had lunch? Because they're all white. You think if somebody, a black congressman had been around at that time? I know, you couldn't even imagine at that time, right? Black congressmen. There were no black congressmen then. There were no black lawmakers in there, right? That would certainly, and if there were, they certainly were not having lunch with segregationists like Joe Biden. Come on. Come on. So, and by the way, if you don't believe black people are human beings worthy of the same respect as you, then again, I have absolutely no interest in getting along with you at all. At all. And by the way, this isn't just about differences in tax policy. I can have a conversation and I can talk to people who are like, oh, you know, I think maybe the marginal rate on rich people should be lower, or we shouldn't have as much tax money. Well, that's interesting. Let's have a conversation about that. But if you believe that black people should be separate, which by the way never turns out to be equal, or Muslims should be separate, or whatever, then no. You're a racist, and I'm not interested. I'm not interested in this at all. And so, no, this is 2022. And those times, they're not coming back, and they shouldn't ever come back. These issues that we're talking about, healthcare, it's life and death in many cases. And when it comes to the current Republican Party, understand that they don't want you to have healthcare. They'd rather a rich person save a tiny amount on their taxes than have a poor person get life-saving treatment for free. Fuck that. Not interested at all. Now we talk about the club, right? The cocktail circuit. Well, this is it. This is the cocktail circuit, all right? And by the way, this prayer breakfast, this is backed by people who want to turn this country into a fundamentalist Christian theocracy. That's what they want to do. Now, Biden's own spokespeople, when asked, hey, is Biden going to this prayer breakfast? Which a lot of Democrats have backed out. Tim Kaine backed out because of the outrage of what they're, and look at what they're doing in different countries, right? Backing fundamentalist leaders who actually do want to kill gay people. And so, I mean, they're working in South America right now, Latin America. No, this is a horrible organization run by a Christo-fascist group known only as the Family. And so you should not go to this prayer breakfast run by disgusting people, paid for by disgusting people, and generally featuring disgusting people. It's a travesty that Democrats have been going to this for so many years, that presidents had gone to this for so many years. They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have. But as far as the spokespeople, when they were asked, and this should tell you what you need to know about this, they were very, very cagey and had accidentally revealed that Biden was being scheduled, where before they were like, we're not sure about this. We don't really have an answer of whether or not Joe Biden is going to go to this prayer breakfast. And then had actually accidentally revealed that, we're still trying to schedule. I mean, we'll get back to you when we know something. No. Disgusting. There's no reason to go to these prayer breakfasts. And there's no reason to, if you actually do go, to gush over Mitch McConnell and miss the time where you used to have lunch with segregationists. No.